When I have the sentence in my brain, ugh, I just want someone else to fix this for me, that is when I'm about to waste a ton of money. Welcome to Small Business, Big Money, the podcast where we explore what it takes to not just survive as small business owners, but financially thrive. I'm your host and financial coach, Gina Knox. I spent 5 years as a small business researcher for QuickBooks, where I interviewed over 400 companies globally about their finances, their money systems, and their books. Now I work with small business owners to help them increase their profit, their take-home pay, their personal wealth, and their financial security. Let's dive in. Hi, business owners. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about how I've wasted over $50,000 in my business, literally, and probably even more if I actually went through and looked really hard on shit that didn't work, specifically outsourcing. Outsourcing. How do you waste money outsourcing? This is so important because so many people are doing it and they are very inflexible when getting coaching on it. So I am here to make a case today, not against outsourcing, but against something else, okay? Because I don't want you to waste a ton of money either. So I have hired lots of people in my business over the years. I have hired a lot of different people to do projects for me. I've hired people to be inside my business on a more day-to-day basis. I've hired people for marketing. I've hired coaches. I've hired people for admin. I've hired people for delivery. I've hired people for all different types of things. And when I look back, there is one sentence in my brain that has been the cause of every single time I have lost money when hiring someone. One sentence. When I have the sentence in my brain, ugh, I just want someone else to fix this for me, that is when I'm about to waste a ton of money. That is when I'm about to waste a ton of money. And I know that that is a very, very common sentence that you're probably thinking in your brain too. So let's talk about this. What is going on here? Because the prevailing wisdom, right, is stay in your zone of genius, outsource what you don't want to do or what you're not good at, hire people who are smarter than you to do tasks in your business, all of that stuff. And I'm not saying that that's bad advice, but what I am saying is that it is premature advice if you haven't done this thing first. Have you defined fully the problem in your business and then the solution to that problem, and then hired someone to implement that solution? Or do you simply feel frustrated, feel overwhelmed, feel like you're drowning, and so you want someone to come into your business and swoop in and fix it to make the feeling go away? When you have the thought, or at least when I have the thought, oh, I just want someone else to come in and fix this, it's typically because I don't like a result that I'm getting in my business. I've done this with marketing. I don't like the result of I don't have enough followers, or I don't like the result of I'm not making enough money. I just want someone to come in and fix this. And guess what? I have money, so I can throw money at this problem. And then I hire someone, but I don't actually know the problem. I just know the symptom. I just know I don't like how much sales I'm getting or not getting. I just know I don't like how many followers I do or do not have. But I don't know the problem. I don't know why I don't have the sales I want. I don't know why I don't have the followers I want. So I go to the nearest person who semi talks about that issue, and then I throw money at them. And then guess what happens? They don't know the problem either. They literally don't know the problem either, but they do have a solution. So they try their best. And I'm not saying that the team members I've hired in the past were bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that they tried their best in a murky situation where I was just emotionally activated and asking them to swoop in and save my business. And they were like, okay, I'll try my best. And then guess what? It never freaking works. Because you can't solve a problem if you can't even define the problem. And it took me years to realize that I was doing this because I really thought I was just following wisdom. Well, I'm not good at marketing, so let me hire someone better at it. Well, I'm not good at getting social media followers, so let me hire someone who is. But it doesn't matter if they are good at the thing. It matters if you have sat down and defined the problem. I made a little Instagram reel about this the other day, and I had so many service providers DM me. It was so interesting. One in particular said, I'm a systems service provider. I build systems for businesses. And this happens to me all the time where I get on a sales call with a business and they're like, I don't know what's wrong, but I just need systems to fix it. And she's like, what do they mean when they're saying systems? Like, do they know what they mean? But then she told me she gets in there and she tries to build stuff, but she doesn't even really know what they need because they don't really know what they need. And they're so flustered or frustrated or overwhelmed or anxious about something else that they're not good bosses. And then it always ends badly. And so she goes, as a service provider, I stay away from those people now. Like, I don't want to take your money if you are in that state, because I know I'm going to work really hard to try to do something. And then at the end, you're still not going to be happy. And you might ask for a refund. You're going to be a difficult client. Basically, whenever you're thinking, I just want someone else to fix this for me, you become the pain in the ass client that nobody wants to work with, because even they know that it's not going to end well. So I want to save everybody the heartache. And I want you to know that if you're in that state, that is not a state to hire from. That is not a state to outsource from. You want to outsource only when the following criteria are hit. Number one, you know what the problem is and you don't feel emotional about it. Meaning you may feel frustrated or you may feel a little bit like, okay, I really want to solve this problem, but you're not in a heightened state of panic, anxiety, or overwhelm. We never want to hire from that state, especially because since we're talking about money, typically if you're feeling, panic, anxiety, or overwhelm, you also probably don't have a lot of money. And so spending money on the thing is going to feel extra risky to you, because now you're going to be like, okay, now this person better freaking fix it, because now I'm spending money that I don't really have, and it's not going to end well. So number one criteria, no hiring in a heightened state of overwhelm. Number two, no hiring into an inefficient system. I say this a lot for people who hire when they're like, oh my God, I have so much on my plate. I have so many tasks to do. I have so much work to do. I cannot possibly do all of this. Let me hire someone to help me get things off my plate. No. You know why? Because if you haven't made your current task list efficient, meaning every task takes as short amount of time as it possibly could, because you have streamlined the task, because you have automated sections that you can automate it, because you've eliminated things from that task that don't ever actually need to be done, then slapping a body into that situation is not going to be good. You're simply paying for someone to come in and inefficiently do the job that you were inefficiently doing. Because guess what? 9 times out of 10, it is not the team member's job to make the task efficient. It's the team member's job to come in and do the task that you said. So now you're going to be spending more money for payroll than you needed to because you didn't create the efficient system to begin with. Number 3 criteria, and this kind of actually is similar to number 1. Is this actually a current problem in your business right now? Is this actually a current problem? And if it is this the actual current solution? So I'll give you an example. When I had started my business, I had made about $20,000, $28,000 in my first year. And I was frustrated. I was like, this isn't going fast enough. I want to make more money. I want to hit 100K. Like, I was very impatient. And so what I did was I recognized the result I didn't like was that my sales were not growing fast enough. That's the result I didn't like. That was the symptom. But I misdiagnosed the problem. I said, it's not growing fast enough. What will help me grow faster? Okay, ads. So I spent $10,000 on an ads mastermind, and then I sunk $4,000 more into ads. And at the end of all of that, I only made $2,000 extra dollars, or maybe $4,000 extra dollars. So I wasted 6 months of time and a ton of money just to make $4,000 extra dollars. And guess what my thought was the moment I went to buy that mastermind? My thought was, I just want someone else to fix it for me. And this lady seems smart, and I bet she can fix it for me, and ads will fix it for me. Nope. No, 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 no. You know what I didn't do? I did not sit down for 5 minutes and say, hey, I have a result I don't like. I'm not growing fast enough. I want to make more money. Okay, Gina, why do you think you're not making more money? And then come up with all the potential hypotheses. I did not do that. I just went, I'm not growing fast enough. Ads mastermind. Not, I'm not growing fast enough. Let's think about why I might not be growing fast enough. You know, how many sales calls did you close out of the last 10 that you booked? What's your close rate? How many people are on your email list? Are you making offers every day? Like, I could have done a million other things for free that would have made me more money than spending $10,000 on an ads mastermind that didn't even solve the problem that I really had. So if you cannot say, I know that I am not emotionally activated, if you cannot say that I have already made the system efficient, and if you cannot say, I know what the problem is, and I know why I'm having this problem, and I have some good hypotheses for what will solve it, then you have no business paying money to outsource anything. You will waste your money. Now, Gina, what if I've already done that and I have a team member who is not making me more money? It's time to let them go. And I know your people pleasing is going to rear up and you're going to go, but I really like them, but they're so good at their job, but da 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 da. I know it's not about them. That's the whole point. They're not bad at their job. The ads mastermind I joined was not a bad ads mastermind. It's that the thing you bought didn't match what the business needed. So no matter what, it's not going to work right now. Cut your losses and compassionately say goodbye to that team member. Now, of course, if you're in a contract, if there are I don't want you to like break the law or break your contracts with people. So for example, with the ads mastermind, they had a no refund policy and a no cancellation policy. So I'm not going to go against that policy. I finished it out. But if you have a team member where you don't have, a contract in place that's like a minimum of 6 months or whatever, let the person go. Let them go. Save the money, cut your losses, and go back to, why did I hire that person to begin with? What was the result I didn't like in my business? And now that I've sat with it, what are some of my hypotheses for the true reason behind that result? What are all the levers I could pull to try and test and get a better result? Because outsourcing is not going to fix it if you don't know what it is. Now, I've had other clients who complain about this. They go, no, I don't want to let my person go. Specifically, this happens a lot with VAs, virtual assistants, or just admin assistants in general. They go, I can't possibly do all the tasks that they're doing. I'll be so overwhelmed with time. And typically, there's one of two things that happen. Typically, when I follow up, I go, okay, well, how many hours a week is your virtual assistant working? They go like 10 hours a week. And then I go, how many hours a week are you working? They go like 25 to 30 hours a week. I'm like, okay, you can take the 10 hours. You can literally afford to take the 10 hours. The reason you're feeling overwhelmed is not because of a 40-hour work week. That's a standard work week. The reason you're feeling overwhelmed is because of all your thoughts about everything going on. And most likely because you're not getting the results you want to get. But keeping the VA isn't going to get you the results you want to get. It hasn't yet, so it probably won't. That's one option. The other option is they go, I can't possibly let this person go because they're doing all these tasks and I don't have the time to take it on. And then I follow up with, then don't do those tasks at all. Do you have to do those tasks to begin with? And it usually breaks people's brain. They usually come back with, of course, what do you mean? Of course I have to do those tasks. And I follow up with, if those tasks are being done and you're still not hitting your financial goals or your, revenue goals or your sales goals, then those tasks are probably not actually the current problem in your business. There's probably something else you're avoiding and you're filling up everyone's time with busy work because you're avoiding the thing that is actually blaring. And usually the thing you're avoiding is a thing that you don't believe can be solved. I didn't believe that I could learn how to get organic sales. So I went to an ads mastermind. I truly didn't believe organic sales would work for me, but that was the only thing that I actually needed to solve. And when I did, and then I turned around and did ads, guess what? My ads funnel is skyrocketing through the roof. So I would really have you question, do I even need to be doing the tasks that this person is doing for me? And if I eliminated the role, what if I did not have to take on those tasks onto my plate? What if I, from a clean slate, looked at my business and looked at all the things that needed to get done and really pared down and say, here's the 20% of things that actually really matter. The rest of this 80% of things don't really matter all that much. And I could probably let them go. All right, that is it for today. We covered a lot. The thought I think that always loses me money. Ugh, I just want somebody else to fix this. The 3 criteria that you need before you hire someone into your business, and then the coaching around letting someone go if they're no longer a fit for the business. Now, this is something that I coach on inside Small Business Money School every single week. And sometimes, by the way, the answer is not always fire someone or stop working with that person or don't outsource. Sometimes the answer is do hire someone or do keep working with them, or that person that quit, you should replace that role. We coach on this every single week because payroll is the number one expense in most small businesses across the country. And if your payroll is over bloated, that means your profit is squeezed, and your profit is vitally important because after all is said and done, your profit has 3 jobs. Your profit needs to be used, a part of it needs to be used to save for taxes. A part of your profit is used to pay for your debt minimum payments. And then the other part of your profit is used to pay you. So if your profit is squeezed, but you have big debt minimum payments, well, you're kind of shit out of luck for taxes and for owner's pay. It's really important that we protect your profit because if we don't, we get into really big trouble, and those troubles just compound year over year over year. And payroll is one of those places where I see the biggest leak in a business because of all of these thoughts, because of the inefficiency, because we're spending money on payroll for roles that we don't even really need. And then it's compounded by the fact that payroll is people. And we have relationships with people, and we like people, and we trust people, and we want to keep them on, and we don't want to fire anyone, and we don't want to be a bad boss or a bad business. And that's challenging. So we're coaching not only in Small Business Money Schools through the profit side of it, the strategy side of it, the raw numbers and the P&L, but we're also coaching you through all of the emotional side of it because that's as important, if not more important than the strategy. If you are interested, I'll have the links for everything in the show notes. Small Business Money School enrolls year round. You can join whenever you want. It is always available to enroll. And I will see you all in the next episode. All right, take it easy.